and welcome to a giant-sized outside-the-box review. Today we are looking at the Savage Frost Giant and Loki Marvel Universe 2-pack from Hasbro. And, to start off with, I don't have a background or even a camera angle I could get right now big enough to show this guy all off on one piece. It's really an impressive 2-pack. Maybe not on the scale of the Galactus 2-pack, but that thing is just gigantic and expensive. And this is less than half the price that that's going for right now, so it's a much more affordable option for a gigantic figure pack. Just to start off with, what we get in this pack is the Loki here, which is mostly in frame. The Savage Frost Giant, which you can see his crotch right here. A couple accessories for the Frost Giant that we'll get into a little later. And the comic book, The Mighty Thor, number 175. I'm not really a reader of Thor comics. This is not one of the characters I really follow when I read Marvel comics. Probably mostly because I actually am a big fan of Norse mythology, and I just nitpick it too much, be like, oh, that's not how it's supposed to be, blah, blah, blah. So I'm too nerdy to read Thor comics, I guess. But it's nice that it comes with the comic, like the other comic 2-packs. And if you're going to go by that logic, those packs cost about $15 a piece. And this guy's $25. So you're not paying a whole lot more, and you're getting a lot more figure-wise. We're going to put the comic off to the side for now. And you know what? We're going to put the Frost Giant off to the side for now. We're just going to take a look at Loki here right now. Loki is a pretty nice Marvel Universe figure. If you collect these things like I do, you'll have seen this body itself a billion times. Use it for, I think, Spider-Man, and I use it for everything. They're kind of standard skinny male body. But the detail's nice, the green paint, and there's some nice, there's like a two-tone to the green paint to give it different highlights and stuff. The yellow is nice. I like that it's not a ridiculous banana yellow or anything. Really good metallic work down the middle with the fish scales and even the belt. Along with the top part of the helm. These horns up here are a little bent out of shape. I'm going to work with them a little bit over time and see if I can get them to be better. But they're not bad. It's got this little ponytail, which is a soft plastic. Kind of odd because this doesn't match his eyebrows at all. I really like the facial expression they ended up giving him. It's very mischievous. He definitely looks like the trickster. And it's kind of an unusual facial expression, not something you normally get with these kind of figures. So it's nice to have something different than usual. As I said before, standard body, standard articulation. He has a ball-jointed head. The up and down is pretty minimal because he has that really big, pronounced chin that kind of limits how far he can move his head. The hair does not hinder it at all since it is so flexible, which is really nice. The arms are ball jointed at the shoulders. You can rotate at the upper arm. Bend the elbow at one place. Rotate the wrist. The ball joint in the mid-torso. Ball jointed legs. Double jointed knees. And you can swivel and bend the ankles. As far as I know, this is the only way you can get a comic book Loki right now. I wouldn't be surprised if we ended up getting one in the Thor wave of those figures, maybe a retooling of it, kind of like we saw with the Iron Man stuff. But I really don't know if they're planning on doing comic-based figures in that one, since they have covered several in the Marvel Universe wave. But Loki is really nice, and if you're in need of a Loki figure, this will definitely be a satisfying piece. And now, on to the main event, the Savage Frost Giant. And I have to say, this guy is enormous. I know I mentioned it before, but it just keeps surprising me how much bigger than the normal 3 3/4 inch figures this guy is. Actually, we'll bring in the ruler right here. You can see he is well over a foot tall. And I have him in a pretty wide stance right now. So that even adds to the height. With this guy, you're getting pretty much what you'd expect from a Marvel Universe, but it actually reminds me more of a Marvel Legends, maybe a Collect and Connect Marvel Legends figure. I think the scale would be about right for that, though I've never really had one in person. I actually would not be surprised to find out that they were reusing some kind of Collect and Connect mold to make this guy. He is very well detailed, and I will do my best to show him off. You can see his face and his armor there. Blue arms, loincloth, black leggings with wraps going down to his feet. His feet are actually really cool. They have pretty well detailed toenails on them. And just kind of adds to the grossness factor of this guy. Most of this armor is a soft plastic. This whole upper torso bit here and the shoulders is, as well as his loincloth and the helmet. The helmet is removable. And he's bald, which is maybe why he wears the helmet here. I really like the design of this helmet. I think it's really cool looking. And just the face in general, it's really nice, well detailed. The blue is mixed in with some whites and some darker blues, and it gives it a nice look. He's got the little tattoo or whatever that is on his lower jaw. I do have a little bit of a, I actually think it's a mold error right here by his teeth, but it's pretty minor. I love the expression on him. I love the little beady red eyes. Go to the back. He's even got like some folds at the bottom of his head. You can see the fur continues on. It's dusted with snow. Really nice detail on this guy. The hands are a little interesting. This one is molded shut. And this one over here is what really gave me the Marvel Legends feel, as it has individually articulated fingers. The thumb is not articulated, but the rest are. It seems like an odd choice that they would articulate one hand and not the other. And I guess while we're at articulation, I could just mention he has a ball-jointed head. Up and down, as usual, is kind of hard, but he does side to side very well. He has a mid-torso crunch, which is not like the ones on Marvel Universe figures. It's more of a DC Universe Classic style, where it's actually just a big hinge. It's not that ball joint thing, so he can't rotate at all, and I don't see any waist articulation either, so it's pretty much fixed like that. The shoulders are ball jointed. These joints are really, really stiff. Rotates at the upper arm, bends at the elbow, rotate the wrist, you can bend the wrist. As I mentioned, on this hand, it has the articulated fingers. The legs can swivel up at the joint. There is a ball joint that's similar to the Iron Man ones, I think, where it has the one slot and you kind of have to line it up for which way you want to bend it. Mine are so tight that I cannot get them to move. I don't think it's a really big concern, especially right now, but it is a little obnoxious. The knees bend at 2 points. And the foot will bend at the ankle. And it looks like it could rotate side to side a little bit here, but it's not doing it. But his feet are definitely tilted to allow him to stand a little better. Just getting him to stand is not the easiest thing. He also comes with this mammoth axe, which is also pretty well detailed. It is a soft rubber, kinda. The blade itself is a little more sturdy, but the handle's rubber. I guess so if you hit somebody over the head with it, it's not going to hurt him too badly. He can hold that in his articulated hand. Though he doesn't hold it particularly well, it kind of just rests in it. I really wish you would have been able to put it in this hand securely, but maybe that just wasn't in the cards for this guy. But seeing as this hand isn't really doing anything, I almost rather would have had it in a fist instead of this kind of... Looks like it's going to hold something posed, but really can't hold anything. I might mess with it more and see if I can get the axe into that hand. Maybe I just haven't found a trick. So this was the Savage Frost Giant and Loki 2-pack. These things are just starting to show up in stores, or at least this is the first time I've seen them. Could be wrong. Marvel Universe has been doing a bunch of re-releases lately, which is something that I totally get behind, as it means that fans like myself who got in a little late to the game don't have to go and pay ridiculous eBay prices for this stuff. You just go out to Target or Walmart or wherever. Walmart's where I got these. I believe they are Walmart exclusives. I should have mentioned that earlier. Just pick them up and bring them home and not have to worry about hunting for any rare item online or anything. But this was the only one of the 2-packs at my store. The back of the packaging shows that there's also a Thor and Goliath 2-pack. Not really one I'm looking to get. I already have basically the same Thor figure, and Goliath is not a figure I really care to have. Especially not at this size where it's going to tower over most of your collection. So it's kind of a big piece for your Marvel Universe collection. But this thing is really cool. I feel like I kind of came up with a lot of faults looking over the Frost Giant, but every little fault on him I feel is outweighed by the coolness of the scale and the detail put into him and all the paint apps that are great. And just a lot of good thought went into this figure. The Loki is good. He's not an excellent figure. If you picked him up in the regular Marvel Universe line as a single card figure, you'd probably be happy with him. And for $25 to get these 2 figures, it's a pretty good deal, I think. Along with the comic book. I mean, these re-releases aren't exactly the best thing if you're a comic book collector, but if you're a casual fan or not really into the comics, it's nice to be able to pick it up and get kind of a background on who the characters are and what you may have missed and what this set is based on look-wise and stuff. But it's a really cool set. I highly, highly recommend picking it up if you have the opportunity. As I said before, it's a Walmart exclusive, so that's where you need to look. From what I've read online, they're getting about one of each of these 2-packs in stores. So somebody beat me to the Goliath, not that I was looking for it, but somebody bought that before I got there. This was the one on the shelves. Fortunately, it's the one I wanted. Definitely recommend getting this guy if you are interested in these characters. And I could make a guess and say that if you're wanting the Thor and Goliath, I know the Thor is a nice figure. I have him. And the Goliath is probably somewhat even quality with this, so definitely worth the hunt. So this has been another Outside the Box review. Thanks for staying tuned, and look for more to come in the future. Maybe ones that will fit on my backdrop. Maybe not. We'll see. Later.